Hey, I'm Angelisa, and I am a huge fan of rainbow tires. And today I'm going to share my tips with you on how you can hit a large rainbow tire with your dirt bike. In case you haven't heard of a rainbow tire or you're not familiar with a rainbow tire obstacle, they look like this. I personally think it looks like a rainbow tire, and I actually adopted the name from when I was a snowboarder and I used to jib parks, and I would hit the rainbow rail or rainbow boxes. So I am just bringing that name over to the rainbow tires, and that's because there's so many different types of tire obstacles, so why not give it a name, right? All right, so now that we know what a rainbow tire is, the tires can be small, medium, and large, but in this case, we're going to talk about hitting large rainbow tires. Other similar features are like the cement pipes or the concrete pipes, and you're basically taking the exact same approach from concrete pipes to rainbow tires. The only difference is of course cement and rubber. And of course, if you're hitting this type of obstacle, I want you to make sure that you have a buddy that can spot you, that can watch you, because it's just going to make things so much easier and smoother when it comes to hitting this for your very first time. So grab a buddy. So I want to highlight that I'm not a professional dirt bike rider. I am just a gal who loves to share her passion with you and share the tips and tricks that I've learned, because I am a short rider. I am under 5 feet, and so if I can pass along anything, it's that anyone can hit features no matter the size. And if you're looking to advance in your skills, I highly recommend on taking clinics and learning the basics before hitting rainbow tires, because throttle and clutch control is so important with this type of obstacle. Okay, let's get into it. All right, got chubby cheeks here. Okay, before we start hitting the rainbow tire, we need to check our surroundings. We need to look at the in-run and also the out-run. We want to make sure that there's no sticks, rocks, or any type of debris to interfere with our approach and our landing when it comes to throttling through and then throttling out when we land. It's so important to clean up your space, because anything can throw you off as a rider, especially if you're hitting this for your first time. And let's say you don't have your static balance in check, you're not as smooth when it comes to really slow drills and lifting that tire up. Clear out the runway. There's nothing wrong with having a smooth and consistent runway that's gonna just give you more confidence. After you scoped out your in-run and your out-run, now it's time to figure out the best position for your buddy to stand safely so that they don't get hurt and they're able to catch you just in case something goes wrong. Okay, and now that you have the comfort in knowing that you have an assistant, that you have a helper, let's hit the rainbow tire. Depending on how and where the large rainbow tires are, you might not have a big in-run and you might not have a big out-run. But in this case, not to worry, because you don't need a whole lot of speed when it comes to approaching a tire. You just need momentum. So once you approach the tire, you want to compress just like you would when it comes to doing a log or any other feature. You want to compress coming into it. You let your clutch out and you lift that tire. If you're not as confident in lifting your tire, I have a whole video on how you can overcome a tire lift. Actually, it's called how to overcome a log hop, and I talk all about lifting your tire, and there are some really easy basic tips that I go through over on that video, so you can catch that here next. Okay, you might want to hit this obstacle a few times just so that you can get used to the speed coming into it. You're gonna know that it's not about the speed, it's about the compression and then lifting that tire. So just practice coming up onto the tire, and you have your buddy to catch you and they can gently push you back down, or if you get on top, they can push you forward so you can get back down. So come up to the tire a couple times and just go a little bit faster every time if you feel like it, and just get used to it. You want to feel the speed and you want to be able to get that tire up onto the tire. the tire up onto the tire. You want to be able to get your front tire up onto the rainbow tire. And I just want to say, don't worry about how long this is going to take you to get enough courage to get on and over the tire. Just have your goal just to get up onto the tire. Okay, let's do this again. Come in with comfortable speed into the rainbow tire. You want to compress just before you hit the rainbow tire, and you want to throttle through. Now this is very important. This is a key component, is throttling through so you can carry yourself and your dirt bike on top of the rainbow tire. So you want to throttle through all the way, carry that throttle until you hit the back tire of your dirt bike onto the rainbow rail, onto the rainbow tire, and then you let off the gas and you come down smoothly. And I also like to stop on top. If it's an extremely large tire, I like to get on top, assess my next line, my next move, and then I can come down smoothly. Because if you are hitting a large rainbow tire in a different enduro park, chances are there's going to be another obstacle right after the rainbow tire, which can really get in your head, and sometimes you're just not prepared for it. If you just come through, hit the rainbow tire, land, and then boom, you're right into the next feature. So stop on top, assess what needs to happen, pick your line, and then throttle down, throttle out, or push yourself off with your legs. Repetition is really important for this, so continue hitting this rainbow tire. Doesn't matter how many times it takes for you to get on top. Just have the courage, have the patience, and just figure out your speed. And I would say that's kind of the key component, is the speed and the throttle, just climbing up onto the rainbow tire. And of course, use your clutch when you need it. But in this case, it's all about the throttle and then letting off the throttle once you get to the top. Okay, let's recap. Scope out your in-run, scope out your outrun. Have a buddy to help clean up any debris that's rocks, sticks, or anything else that's gonna interfere with you approaching the rainbow tire or landing from the rainbow tire. Practice riding up the tire a couple times to figure out your speed and the momentum getting up onto it. Allowing your friend to catch you a couple times to slide you back down so that you can continue gaining enough traction and momentum, and try to get higher and higher every time you approach the rainbow tire. Once you've dialed in your speed and your momentum and you're feeling extremely comfortable and confident, that's where you have to trust the throttle to carry you through up on top of the tire. And you want to make sure that you let off the gas once the back tire hits the rainbow tire. This is a tongue twister. My God. Rainbow tire, back tire, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm losing daylight. My gosh. Okay, and once you come on top of the rainbow tire, then you can either push yourself off with your feet if you come off the pegs, or you can gas it out slowly and then you come out of it. Okay, this type of obstacle requires throttle, and I know I'm repeating myself over and over again. I'm like a broken record, but it really is trusting the throttle to get you on top of the rainbow tire. So make sure you have good throttle control and clutch control before you even attempt a large rainbow tire. Because if you don't have those down packed, then unfortunately you're gonna come up and you're gonna loop out your bike, and it could do some damage to your dirt bike, or it could do some damage to you and maybe your buddy. So you want to make sure that you have good clutch control, good throttle control before attempting any big obstacles. So my first time on hitting an extremely large rainbow tire was actually at Bear Creek OHV campground, and at their enduro park they had this huge set of tires, and it was my very first time hitting them. Actually, the group that I was with never hit tires before. So I went over there and I assessed the tire. I figured out what my in-run was, and it was very tricky because there was a tight turn before hitting these huge tires. And there was a bit of a lip, so the dirt didn't actually come up onto the tire. So I had to really rely on lifting my front tire of my dirt bike onto the rainbow tire. So it was very scary, very challenging. It took me a long time, and it started raining, so that made things a little bit worse. But my goal was just to get on top of the tire. So let that be your goal when it comes to hitting large rainbow tires. Just get on top, and then you can figure out your line afterwards, because it's a lot easier. Well, I find, some people might beg to differ, but I find coming off of an obstacle to be a lot more easier because I have more control, whereas coming up onto a rainbow tire, there's a lot of commitment and there's a lot of things happening all at once, whereas once you get on top, you can take a breather, figure things out, and come down smoothly and successfully. So make that your goal, just to get on top. Okay, have fun on this obstacle, because this is one of my favorite obstacles. It's challenging, it's fun, and it's super impressive. When you can get up onto a large tire, chances are not a lot of people will even have the courage to do this type of obstacle. It's a very intimidating feature, and I've seen some really cool, highly skilled riders hit these types of obstacles, and they're so technical, they're so steezy, and oh my gosh, I adore it so much. And I actually have some goals for myself for next season, next spring, summer, and I can't wait to show you, to do some before and afters, because it takes a lot of work and, like I said, courage to approach these types of features. So stay tuned for that. And of course, if you're looking to build confidence when it comes to hitting a rainbow tire, if you want to overcome some fear, I highly suggest you checking out my video over here. I'll leave it on the screen here, and it is overcoming the fear of doing a rainbow tire. And I share a whole lot of value and tips and tricks that I do to make sure I hit something safely and successfully. So go check that out next. Until our next jib session or next hangout, keep killing it safely, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Okay, bye. I always do the squatting. Hey, for you to hit dirt bikes, holy I swear to God, the grouse is gone. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm losing so much daylight. Rainbow tire, back tire, blah, 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 blah. -0. Hands are numb. Oh, dang. All right, I think we got the shot. Oh, my hands are so cold. Thanks so much for watching.